Hey guys, how's it going? So, a while ago, I did a review of the Sonic Mania Record, and it was an amazing product by Data Discs, and ever since that video, I started thinking to myself that maybe I should do a review of the other Data Disc record that I have. And yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to show to you guys. So, without much further, lo and behold, the other Data Disc record that I have is the Shenmue Record. And it's an amazing record as well. The thing is, unlike the Sonic Mania one, I've already opened this thing. So yeah, and it's not quite in the original, everything's not like the way it came to me before I unwrapped it and all that kind of stuff. I hope that makes sense. So what I'm going to do, in regular Sega Genicast tradition, I'm going to rebox this thing and then unbox it for you guys. Hey guys, I'm back. So you guys probably go like, oh, there's absolutely no difference with this thing. Well, actually there is, because there's this thing in the back, and I'll talk about that in a second. But let's get onto the unboxing, shall we? Anyway, so one thing that's really nice about this particular album is that it actually came with this resealable album sleeve, which is really cool, because most albums nowadays tend to come in like those shrink wrap kind of things, which is, I mean, it's nothing bad, but it's just that it's really nice to have, oops, sorry about that. It's really nice to have something to protect your albums after you unboxed it, which is really nice. So anyways, yeah, so I just took out two things right here. I'm going to be putting this to the side because I want to save the best thing for last. Anyways, so this is the album jacket, and it is really beautiful. It's a really nice printing of the cover of Shenmue. And it's like, they did not, like, Data Discs did not take like a low quality image off the internet in order to make this. They actually took the original artwork from Sega and then they just printed onto this album jacket right here, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. This album is like printed really interesting as well, because like the entirety of it is like a matte finish, and the logo right here, which is written in Japanese text, it actually has like a gloss finish, which is really cool. If you hold into this certain light, I don't know if I can do it right here, but I probably show like an off-camera kind of shooting where like I'll show you how shiny that part is. It's really nice. And then on the right here, it's interesting that Data Disc did like a Japanese kind of printing of records because of the obi strip. Because like Data Disc is like, they're headquartered in London, which is really interesting that they decided to do this. But yeah, this album has an obi strip, and on the obi strip it says Shenmue and the number 002, which to signify that this is the second release of Data Discs. And it's got the original soundtrack to the original groundbreaking Sega game, remastered and available for the first time ever on vinyl, which is good. And then it says on here 180 gram vinyl. That's good, because that means like 180 gram is a pretty thick vinyl, which means that the record will not have a tendency to warp as much, which is good. And it's got the lithographic print, which means I'm sure that it's referencing to the glossy finish of the Shenmue logo on this package. And then of course, it's an officially licensed Sega product, which is cool. Oh, before I show you the back, you can actually take this obi strip off right here, as I did right here. And I'm going to be putting this thing back. Actually, I'll show you guys what it looks like. The front cover of this album looks like without the obi strip, and it looks pretty cool without it. I personally would like it to do it this way, but the problem is that I don't have like a safe place for the obi strip to not get damaged and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to be putting this thing back on, and yeah, okay. And then I'm going to be showing you guys the back of this album. So first of all, I'm going to talk about the back of the obi strip. It says also available Data 001 Streets of Rage, signifying the first record that Data Disc ever released. So if you like the soundtrack of Streets of Rage, you can definitely get it on the Data Disc website. And at the bottom you can see the website address for Data Disc and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, that's all the obi strip has. Now the back cover of this album is interesting because it shows you, of course, all the sound, like the title selections that were on this album. But what it also does is that it shows you the original composers of this the Shenmue soundtrack, and it is really cool because there are some really famous names that are in there. For example, Takenobu Mitsuyoshi. Now you may not recognize that name, but that's the guy who did the original Daytona USA soundtrack. Yeah, phenomenal, talented artist. And then you also got the legendary Yuzo Koshiro. Yuzo Koshiro is the guy who did the Streets of Rage and the Revenge of Shinobi soundtrack. Really, really talented individuals as well. But yeah, and it really shocked me to realize that they were the ones who actually contributed to the Shenmue soundtrack, which is awesome. But the thing is that makes this thing really sweet is that at the bottom of it, you can actually see the actual songs that these composers made. For example, if you look at the bottom, Takanobu Mitsuyoshi got A1 right next to him, which essentially means that he composed Shenmue Sedge Tree, which is the theme song of Shenmue. And I shouldn't be surprised by that because of how talented he is. And then if you look at under Yuzo Koshiro, he did A5, which is The Sadness, Carry on My Shoulders. Really, really beautiful pianic melodic piece. I really enjoyed that one. And of course you can see all the other composers of this album as well and which songs they created. Really, really talented. So you can tell that there were a lot of talented individuals that worked on the soundtrack of Shenmue, and it really shows. I really enjoyed the soundtrack of Shenmue. So enough talking about the album jacket of this album. I'm going to be showing you guys what was in it. So there is only one thing that was in this package when it first came out, and that is a poster of the Shenmue front cover without the logo, and it is so beautiful to look at. I would love to hang this thing on the wall, but the problem is that in Florida we have really bad times with sun fading and all that kind of stuff. So obviously I wanted to protect the colors of this album by putting it back and leaving it in the let me see, yeah, in the album cover. Sorry, I'm stuttering, but yeah, so I'm just going to be putting it back there, and that's all that this package has to offer. So I'm going to be moving on onto the thing that you probably bought this whole entire album for. The record. Actually, I'm holding it upside down. I don't want the album to fall out. That would suck. Anyways, before I show you guys what the record looks like, when you buy this particular album off of DataDisc website, it originally came in three different editions. You could have got the limited edition, you could have got the color edition, and you could have got the black edition of the record. So the limited edition is exactly as it sounds. When they first released the albums, they only make first pressing of these things, and once that's sold out, they will never sell them again. The other two, they will keep on pressing in order to meet demand. So black, obviously, it's, oh yeah, the limited edition. The limited edition of Shenmue's, the Shenmue record, is really beautiful. I wish I had it, because it's like a light blue record with a deep dark blue splatter in the middle. It's absolutely fantastic looking. Wish I had it, but I didn't buy it in time, so that's why I don't have it. The black vinyl, it's black, just like every other record out there, really. And last but not least, the color vinyl. And spoiler alert, that's what I got in here. So Shenmue's DataDisc's Shenmue record release was very interesting because it came in, when it first came out, there was like a dark blue version of this record. But ever since that first pressing, the colored edition became light blue, which is interesting, and that's the one I got here. So yeah, let me show you guys what the record looks like. It's very beautiful. And I'm very excited to show you guys what it looks like. So here's the record. Absolutely fantastic to look at. It looks so good, I actually want to eat it. No, I'm just kidding. No, but seriously, no, it looks really good. And I'm sure the camera's not doing justice for this thing. Cool things to say about this album. On the dead wax, I don't know if they do this on like all the stuff that DataDisc does, but on the dead wax of this album, they actually inscribed in some really cool text that I would definitely love to show you guys. They're very hard to see, so I try to, if you can't see what it looks like, I will try my best to explain what they say. So on side A of the album, it says, "I need to do this for my father." Really, really cool reference to what Ryo Hazuki says in the game. Ryo Hazuki's the main character of Shenmue. And then on side B, it says, if I can find it, sorry if it's gonna take me, oh okay, actually, Yeah, sorry about that. It's taking me a while to see these things. Even with my actual eyes, this thing is hard to find. Anyways, here it is. Do you know where I can find some sailors? Oh my goodness, I cannot believe they actually decided to put that on the album. It's freaking hilarious. I really enjoyed that. And if you don't know what that is, that's a really cool inside reference for like Shenmue fans. It's like there's like a mission where Ryozuki is actually looking for sailors, and that's all he says when he's running around the docks. It's really funny. They actually did this on the record. But all appearances of the record aside, how does it sound? Well, the interesting thing about this record is that they did not just record the music off of the Dreamcast version of this game. They didn't do that. They actually took the original masters that Sega made back in the day, and then they pressed it onto vinyl, which is fantastic. And I'm sure you guys can tell what I'm going to say about the sound quality of this thing. It sounds phenomenal. And I'm super excited to basically let you guys hear about what the record sounds like. Now, the thing is though, is that in order to try to avoid YouTube's copyright problem, what I'm going to be doing is that I'm going to play the record, the first track of this album, at full volume for a few seconds, and then afterwards I'm going to tone the volume down and then talk over it, because obviously I don't want to get in trouble with YouTube because of that. So yeah, so let me guys hear what the album sounds like. So what you think? Personally, I think this album sounds phenomenal. The only problem I have with it though is that the surface noise of this record is pretty freaking loud. Especially compared to most of the other albums I have in my record collection, which is a bummer. I think maybe I got like a little bit of a bad pressing or something, I don't know. But yeah, it sucks that this thing has a little bit of surface noise, but I'm very happy though that the actual sound quality of this album, it sounds phenomenal, and I'm very glad to have this thing in my collection. So, with that being said, here comes the ultimate question. Would I absolutely recommend this album for you guys if you're wanting to get into a record collection? Absolutely. This is a phenomenal album. I absolutely love the soundtracks of Shenmue. And of course, we got the original masters printed onto record, so it sounds phenomenal. The record itself looks great, and of course, I'm sure you guys can tell, the original packaging of this, like entire album is absolutely beautiful. I definitely would recommend it. And yeah, there's nothing more to say. Definitely get this album. The only thing though is that most people know how good this album is. So what usually happens is that this thing sells out all the time. So whenever you see on the Data Disc website, I'll put the link to their website in the description below. But anyways, yeah, so whenever you check their Data Disc website, be sure to always check it all the time, because even though they're sell out, in the next month they might be back with more pressings of this album. So yeah, just keep checking that. And yeah, that's basically all I have to say. This is the Sega Genicast. My name is Michael, and may the dream be with you.